Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren. I'm Kim Tolton and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I'm sharing with you this very stylish but very simple card to make. It uses very few products. The added dazzle is from this beautiful dazzling glimmer paper that I've used here from Stampin' Up. And I've used it in conjunction with the Flurry of Wishes stamp set just for the sentiment here. Be filled with wonder, be touched by peace, believe in the miracle, which I think is a beautiful sentiment. And some washi tape, gold and white washi tape. So I'm going to pop that to one side. As always, you need to begin with your card base, and today we're using a 6-inch card base or 15cm card base, so that needs you to trim your cardstock to 12 inches or 12 inches or 30 centimeters by 15 centimeters or 6 inches, and then you score down the middle at 6 inches. Always fold towards the ridge so that's never seen, because once you put a card insert in there it just hides that ugly fold. And then you can pop that to one side just for a moment. Next you want to start building your flower, and for this I'm using the flower builder punch here and some more of that beautiful glimmer paper. Now I have trimmed this to 5 centimeters wide to try and reduce the amount of wastage that you get, although I try to leave little bits that's big enough to punch out stars and little circles and things like that. Use your punch upside down, and that way you kind of know where you're going. Now I just want this large petal here. I've already, for ease, I've punched the medium size, and then you've got the smallest in the middle here. So we're just going to be punching 6 of the large ones, and then you also need 6 of the small ones. So just bring your punch in, line it up. And the only reason I did some in advance was I thought you'd probably be more than just a little bit bored to watch me punching out 12 leaves. That's 2. Three. And bits fly everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. You find glimmer paper all over the place. Right, I'm losing count now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those can go to one side. So we need 5, just one more in there, and there you go, that's your 6. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and no, that's too small, isn't it? Let's do another one of those then. Right, and 6. And then, as I say, I've already done 6 of the smaller ones here. You can pop that to one side. You want your bone folder. Keep the pointy bit is the outside of the flower, the rounded end is the centre of the flower, so just gently just curve up each petal. If you hold on to the rounded end you know which way you're going. Lay them on top of each other again so you don't lose yourself. All the points in the right direction. After all, you want your flower to be looking very pretty, don't you? And this will certainly give impact just from that sparkle. It's the first time I've used sparkle this year so far. Last year I was mad on sparkle. This year I've been a little bit more toned down. And you do exactly the same with the smaller flower. I did try adding in extra layers, using the smallest of the petals. It just looked too much because the glimmer paper is quite thick, so it just looked too much. Now I use glue dots to put mine together, but you could use a little bit of Tombow. I don't know if it would work with a glimmer paper, whereas I found that the glue dots worked really well. So I did mine by putting them into pairs. So begin, put your glue dot on the rounded end, match that up with the rounded end of another one, and remember to keep your sizes together as well, so you're not got a mix of small and large. If your room is quite cool, mine is because I don't have any heating out here yet, you'll find that the glue dots need a bit more of a press just to soften up the glue, otherwise it doesn't stick properly. But I have got a wood burner coming in here early in the new year, which I'll be so pleased about, because it will put an end to me sitting here working with blue fingers through the worst of the winter. But I have tried moving everything indoors and it just didn't work. It just created so much extra work, so I stick to being out here and being chilly. And it has been known for me to work through the night in here as well if I can't sleep. I am prone to insomnia, particularly if I feel stressed out about something. Lifelong thing. I don't think years of shift work really helped, but I'm not complaining because I love my life. Right, so you've got 3 lots of doubles over there, 3 lots of doubles over here, so then you just build them together. And obviously you want, as you're building your flower, you do want to remember that you want overlap, so don't make it all even. If you don't like it, just take that off and the glue dot should stay intact, and then just reposition it. Okay. Then that one can go in there. And you can probably just start to see it coming together. And exactly the same with your large one. And if you're not happy, just as I say, just take it, gently prise off the glue dot and just reapply. And you should end up with something that looks pretty. There we go. And then all you do is another couple of glue dots on here. Put a couple on just to make sure that that flower gets really well stuck on. There we go. And then this just goes on top. Give it a good press. And then the last thing on there, I used a little Wonderland element on there, but I've lost mine since yesterday and today. No idea, I'll probably finish this and then find it again. So instead I'm going to use one of the iced rhinestones. There we go. And we'll just pop one of these in the middle just to make it that sparkle really zing. There you go. So that is your flower made, and that can now just go off to one side whilst I'm just checking. I think I'm going to put a glue dot or two on there as well, because any sort of glitter paper has a canny knack of really not sticking things particularly well. And the last thing you want is for, there you go, I'm happier with that. Right, so if you're putting a rhinestone element on there, pop an extra glue dot on the back just for a bit more assurance, and then it won't come off. Okay, so on to building the card. And to start off with, you want a piece of Whisper White, just regular Whisper White. The card base was made using the thicker Whisper White. This is the regular stuff. This is 12 centimetres by 12 centimetres. And this is where your washi tape comes in, and we're going to do an over, like a hash on here. And you can use your Wonderland washi tape in whichever order you choose. And you can be as random, or I like as erratic as you like. I like a sort of uneven edge to my washi tape. I'm going to use a couple across here and just run it around the back. And then just a little bit of this just to overlap those. And then do it exactly the same again in a random order. You don't want this to be too regular. The thing about washi tape is it's made for running and tearing and doing what you choose. Right, so that is going to be there, and our flower will sit in the middle here. Just one little bit of stamping today, and I'm using soft suede classic ink pad, and this lovely sentiment up here which you just want popped. Make sure you have it the right way up and try and get it as straight as you can, as square down, press straight back up. Close your ink pad again. This is then going to be matte onto a piece of the Shimmery cardstock, and that measures 12.4 by 12.4 centimetres. A few strips of fast fuse. You will need a bit down each side just to make sure this stays on. Again, it's a fairly narrow matte. Matte just means layering. It's that effect of framing so that the main piece of your work stands out. And then that in turn is going to be matte onto a piece of soft suede cardstock, just so that it's completely coordinated with your ink pad. And the soft suede almost has a gold look to it, and when I've done fairly large classes, I often use a soft suede in place of gold foil. Now that bottom mat is 12.8 by 12.8 centimetres, so that's your 3 mats, very narrow mats, but it gives a nice finish. You then want to put this onto your card base. Again, just fast fuse, it doesn't need to be popped up any more than it already is, because that flower is the main element of your card, so just let it do its job. Keep everything else quite understated. And then you just have to decide whether you want it as a mounting fold so it opens upwards, or whether you want it on the side. I always like my nice cards to be a mounting fold. Get that as centrally as you can. I always go by eye. You can use a ruler if you choose. And then for the back of this, just use a few stamping dimensionals. You need 3 or 4, probably 4, so you just want to space them out, and it will help that flower sit nicely. Remove the backing and pop that down on the top there. And there you have it, that's your card made. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow with another one. Thanks for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.